Hi, it's T. Michelle Birdsong, Eve, mother of living, all living, daughter of the sun, queen of information, mainstream inclusio. This is part 2. Quantum mechanics proves that the baby was born in the heart, was made in the heart, was conceived in the heart. Okay? Note, the waves, this is part 2. The waves on top of each other look like physical intercourse position. If there is energy, a baby in the womb, this interaction could cause the baby to prepare to be born if the energy, desire for a baby exists. Note, I once had a thought in my heart brain, ooh, this is a perfect guy for me. And I became excited in my heart. The signals went to the cranial brain, which signals the genitals. They united and deposited DNA in the energy baby. 13 years later, that baby chose to be born to me, and my then husband became the proximity dad. The biological dad and I never married, never even dated, and so had no clue that our attraction energy was so strong, of such high frequency, love at first sight, that we created a baby. She chose to be born 13 years later. This is a baby. Melanie Lynn Spear. Her biological father is a classical music conductor, Dr. Maestro Isaiah Allen Jackson. On the first printout, when the waves came together, the result was a much bigger wave. The height of a wave is power. Drop a small rock in the pond, you get a small ripple. Drop a big rock in the pond, you get a big ripple. I guess you guessed that, huh? The height of the ripple is the power. So I have two small waves coming together in harmony. And when they add up, they increase in power. Note, like an added life, a baby. The waves, said Dr. Lipton, are interfering with each other. Yes, but it's called constructive interference. The resultant interaction leads to more power than when they were individual waves. Waves decoded. Put the S in front of the W and you have S for Stevie, W for Wonder. AVE, Avenue. Note, that's how Stevie Wonder and T. Michelle Birdsong made a baby. They were walking together arm in arm as she, an airline stewardess, wave, was guiding he, Stevie Wonder, a passenger wave, to the bathroom. She quickly thought, this is the perfect man for me. Let me just fix that. Perfect man for me. He sang beautiful songs to me. Ma chérie amour, pretty little one that I adore. How I wish that you were mine. Maybe someday you'll see my name among the stars. And there they are up in the sky where the stars are, right? And she saw his name on the flight manifesto. She saw the light protons reflected off his energy body and instantaneously selected him to be hers. The two of them came together and made a and distributing their DNA made a third, increased to form a baby named Robert Michelle Birdsong. This was in 1967 or 1968. Okay, this is Robert Michelle Birdsong with Stevie Wonder in 2019. She was St. Francis of Assisi at one time in her past life. So this was in, they created the baby in 1967 or 1968 before she married. When she married in 1970, 5 years later after they'd settled into a house, Rob and Michelle decided to be born to a rock star. But the rock star she was born to was Stevie Wonder. We thought it was Edwin Birdsong, but it was Stevie Wonder. Because we didn't know how babies were conceived in the heart at that time. I decided to be born, this is Eve talking, to my mother, Corinne Beatrice Crowder, nicknamed Frog, of Clarksville, Tennessee, and Reverend Dr. Wilbur Daniel, because I wanted the DNA of God lovers. My proximity father, Kenneth Anderson, my mother's husband at the time of my birth. Oh, where's page 10? I don't know what I do with page 10. I'll have to tell it to you off the top of my head, I guess. Yeah, because I don't see page 10. I know I recorded a page 10. Okay, well, anyway, my proximity father, Kenneth Anderson, was an atheist. So I knew I didn't want him to be my biological father. And my half-sister, Helen Long, is an atheist, I guess, because I saw on Facebook her celebrating Kwanzaa, which is a holiday created by some guy in the 60s, having nothing to do with God. So, you see. Oh, here's 10. Here it is. My mother's husband at the time of my birth was an atheist. My half-sister Helen Long posted a picture of herself and her great-granddaughter celebrating a holiday made up in the 60s called Kwanzaa. So I presume she is an atheist like her biological father. Okay, so that's the end of that. This is a new topic. Note, Elon Musk details SpaceX progress on latest Starship spacecraft builds and flight timelines. Note, as I said in my previous video, the sky is the limit. All these airplanes, satellites, etc. are greatly interfering with the domain of the birds in heaven itself. The video is called Earth is Under Arrest by GARD. I'll show you. The video is called Earth is Under Arrest by GARD. God. It's uploaded to YouTube on the Mile Red Song or Birdsong YouTube channel and is available to be viewed by the public. Air travel has been banned except for royals, heads of state, and emergency medical personnel. Okay, since I have a little time, I'll introduce you. I do read energy. As the queen of information, I can give you information about the past lives of some people. Okay, so this is Mr. Rogers. This is my grandson, Seth Wynn Rogers, Ranziger. And he was Mr. Rogers in a past life. And he was also Alexander Graham Bell. And he's a projection of Josh Groban, the singer. Mr. Rogers was a singer and a composer. And then behind him is his mother, this life, Melanie L. Spear. Also Seth was Swami Ji, who sanctified the Dera area by meditating there for 17 years with his wife. And his mother, this life, Melanie L. Spear, was his wife at that time. She also was the explorer, the incredibly courageous explorer Christopher Columbus, who crossed the treacherous waters 4 times. And she was St. Patrick, the patron saint of the poor. She was the goddess Isis, the goddess of fertility. She was queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. And she was a mentally tormented genius, Vincent van Gogh. Okay, this is her daughter, this life, Ostara Gloria. She was Saint Kabir, Hiawatha, and Chief Sitting Bull, as well as my great-grandmother, Sally Kendricks, who taught me about astrology. She was in Aries at that time. Here is Lou Ranzinger, her son, Ostara's brother, and he was the poet Saint Princess Mirabai, who master was a cobbler, and her snobby royal family wanted her to get rid of him because he was of such low caste. But she did not believe in discrimination based on caste because she knew him to be a learned, a wise, a spiritual soul, and she kept him as her master. He was also, Lou Ranzinger was also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, Melanie's brother, my son, was Sing Birdsong, is Sing Birdsong. He was Mozart, George Gershwin, Jimi Hendrix, King Charlemagne, King Saul, King, who else? Menelaus, and he was projection of Sly Stone, projection of Evangelos, who is the Greek electronic music genius. Okay, and who else? Then we have Melanie's daughter, Jindara Ranzinger, who was Uncle Sam, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, projection of Baba Jamal Singh, and Dwight David Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander. And she was a poster child for Rosie the Riveter. Who else was she? Shirley Temple. Did I say she was Shirley Temple, who grew up to be Shirley Temple Black, the United Nations ambassador? And we have Adam, the first man created by God. He was an Archangel Michael in heaven, the soulmate of Archangel Michelle in heaven. He also was Elvis. He's Michael Bublé today. He was Elvis, Sinatra, George Harrison, Michael Jackson. Is that enough for you? That's a giant, right? And he was, okay. Now you have the star, Jesus Christ, Govinda Singh Dhillon, the Buddha, St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, St. Valentine, Payne Whitney, the philanthropist who left $12 million to build a mental health facility. He was a royal Japanese samurai soldier, and he was many, many rock stars. He was also Baba Jamal Singh, and he was the rock stars Nat King Cole, Louis Armstrong, Luther Vandross, Barry Manilow, Barry White, Frankie Valli. Some of these are projections, obviously, because the people still alive. And Michael, what's his name? Michael, When a Man Loves a Woman. Michael Boynton. Michael, I can't remember his name. That's incredible. I'm such a fan. I can't remember his name. He was Ricky Nelson. He was Frankie. He was. Okay, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, and Michael Bublé was Ray Charles. And Gurinder Singh was so many famous rock singers. Okay, to Michelle was Socrates, Tesla, Queen Isabella, Queen Elizabeth I. She was Marcus Aurelius. She was, who else? Robert Frost, Mark Twain, Shakespeare, Freud, Pearls. You see, all these people, they're members of the Holy Royal Family, and they're so great, it's mind-boggling. Now, Will Smith was Seth, Adam and Eve's third and perfect son. He was St. Thomas Aquinas. He was St. Thomas, the Apostle Jesus Christ disciple. He was the founding father, John Hancock, and he was a prophet, Isaiah. Beside him was his wife, Azura, in the Garden of Eden. They were brothers and sisters and husband and wives. And Azura has been Galileo, St. Francis of Assisi, like I said, the only biological child of Stevie Wonder this life. She was Dr. Seuss, Dr. Spock, Voltaire, Michelangelo. Did I say Galileo? It's just giants. And King James Version of the Bible, she was King James. She was the guru lost in Ramaswamy history, the master of St. Kabir. Okay, that's Robert Michelle Birdsong. Now, who did I leave out? Stevie Wonder was the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Then he fell in love with Eve, jealous of Adam. Then he was Judas Iscariot, fell in love with Mary Magdalene, and jealous of Jesus Christ, until he betrayed him and felt remorse, and then he hanged himself. He was Hitler, who tried to get even with for Mary Magdalene, the grieving widow of Jesus Christ, by killing the Jews, but they weren't real Jews. They were the fake Jews. The real Jews are the black people in the world. The Africans and the American black people are the real Jews. And I think I told you the past lives of some of the past lives of Michelle. All right, so thank you for watching, and I'm happy to give the information to you. I hope you appreciate it. I do read energy. And there. Have a nice New Year's. This is December 31st. This is December 30th. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Okay, so happy 2020. So long.